Chapter 5 covers work laws and responsibilities. The W-4 form is the first form that they discuss in the chapter, and this form is filled out before you start working. It tells your employer how much money should be taken out in taxes from your paychecks. You'll fill out a W-4, and in that W-4, you will choose your allowances. Claiming more allowances will lower the amount of income tax that's taken out, but claiming a 0 means you will have the most income tax withheld from your paycheck. So it is a little confusing, and you definitely want to read up on it before you fill out a W-4. But allowances, when you're filling out a W-4, absolutely matters. Exempt status is another term you're going to see in this particular section, and the exempt status deals with income taxes because that is what you would call people who have not earned enough throughout the year to actually owe any federal income taxes. Other fun things taken out of your paycheck are Social Security benefits. So you will see in your pay stub that you have Social Security or SS taken out, and that money goes into the Social Security account, which could be used for things for you like old age retirement income, survivorship income, disability income, and health insurance. So you will put your Social Security number on a whole lot of things throughout your life. It's a very important number for you, your work ID number. It kind of tracks your financial movement throughout life, but what it is also doing is connecting you to this particular account in which you are paying in every pay period. I'm going to say this now, but I'm sure it'll be reiterated when you get to your retirement chapter. Social Security income is not enough to sustain you in your old age. It is merely one form of income you should be receiving when you retire. The W-2 summarizes all of the income you've earned at each job that you've worked at throughout the year and all the taxes you've paid as well. So on January 31st, you'll receive a W-2 from every company you've worked for in the previous year. I received my South Brunswick High School W-2 on January 31st for the 2017 time period I worked there. This is especially useful when you're filing for your taxes. You have to have all of your W-2s before you file, and that's why they make sure that they get it to you no later than January 31st, because typical date or deadline for filing taxes is April 15th. So that gives you a few months to prep for it. The other forms you need to know: eligibility verification form, which is also called an I-9. It verifies your identity and eligibility to work in the United States. And what they call a work permit application is your working papers. This form that can be found at the front desk of the main office or in SPS, this form you would fill out to be able to get yourself a job once you've reached of a certain age. Unemployment compensation is exactly what it sounds like. It is money that will help you stay afloat for when or if, and hopefully not, you lose your job through no fault of your own. So if your position is cut and it had nothing to do with your behavior at a job, you can file for unemployment compensation, or unemployment insurance is what would be covering you. And after a small waiting period, you would be getting checks, which is a portion of your regular pay. You're not going to get your full pay. It's just enough to keep you afloat, and it's only meant to be for a certain amount of time. Chapter 5 also covers the Fair Labor Standards Act, in which there was a lot of different components. First, it established a minimum wage for the nation and each state. So New Jersey's currently at, I want to say, $8.25. You'll find some states a little bit higher, some states a little bit lower, but that is the minimum wage that an employer can pay you hourly. The Fair Labor Standards Act also talked about overtime. So the overtime wages was something that was talked about and discussed in this act because employers were having their employees work over the 40-hour standard work week. So what this talks about, and what you should ask about in your interview, is if there is overtime, is there overtime wages? Meaning, are you just getting paid the regular minimum wage for every hour over 40, or is there some kind of higher rate that would be motivating for you to take more than 40 hours of work a week? Workers' compensation is an insurance program to pay you and or your family member if you're injured on the job, if you become ill because of the job, or if you die on the job. So we're getting real fun, happy, light in this chapter talking about death. The employer is responsible for the employee's injuries and illnesses that are a result of employment. So if you do in fact need to stop working because something happened on the job, which would actually cause you to not be getting paid, workers' comp kicks in and it's kind of a safety net so that you will still be receiving income even though you cannot in fact go to work. FMLA, which is also the Family and Medical Leave Act, gives you a time period for paid or unpaid to leave and cover maybe a situation for your immediate family members, or to take care of your newborn, or if you're in fact yourself are sick. This is an paid or unpaid leave, and I say paid or unpaid because it really depends on where you work and the situation as to whether or not you will be compensated during your time away. The Chapter 5.2 covers responsibilities to your employers, so you are responsible for this. And a lot of these words probably are familiar. You've probably either used these or seen these in other readings, but you really do want to make sure you read the chapter so you can see how these familiar words relate in a career type scenario. So you're responsible to be punctual, you're responsible to be loyal, etc. But when we talk about other responsibilities you also have some responsibilities to your coworkers, and then there's responsibilities to the customers that you work with. Lastly, they discuss employer responsibilities, which are responsibilities that your work has to keep you safe, to keep things fair, and to keep channels of communication open. So that's Chapter 5 in a nutshell. As always, make sure that you read the entire chapter to get information that might not be covered in these slides.